Hello friends, Ludwig's angina. Ludwig's angina is an infection which occurs in the submandibular space. Infection in submandibular space is called as Ludwig's angina. Okay. So first, what is submandibular space? Submandibular space is the area which is present between the mucous membrane of the floor of the mouth. See, this is the tongue. So this is the mucous membrane of the floor of the mouth, and it is the space which is lying between the mucous membrane of floor of the mouth and superficial cervical fascia, superficial layer of deep cervical fascia which is extending between the hyoid bone. This is the hyoid bone and the mandible. This is the superficial superficial layer of deep cervical fascia. This is superficial layer of deep cervical fascia, whereas this is the floor of the mouth. The area lying between the floor of the mouth and the superficial layer of deep cervical fascia, this is called as submandibular space. This submandibular space is divided into two compartments by a muscle which is called as mylohyoid muscle. This is an important muscle which is mylohyoid muscle, which divides the submandibular space into two compartments. This is the first compartment, this is the second compartment. The compartment which is above the mylohyoid muscle is called as sublingual space, whereas the compartment below the mylohyoid muscle is called as submaxillary or submylohyoid or submental compartment. Now, these two compartments constitute the submandibular space. So, infection present in the submandibular space is called as Ludwig's angina. So, if you see the etiology of submandibular space infection, which is Ludwig's angina, this Ludwig's angina occurs due to the 80% of cases it occurs due to dental infections. Whenever there is infection to the premolars or roots of premolars, then that can result in infection to the sublingual compartment followed by submaxillary compartment, because the premolars lie above the attachment of mylohyoid. So whenever there is any infection of the premolars, especially roots of premolars, that can result in Ludwig's angina. Then if there is any infection in the submandibular salivary gland, like submandibular salivary gland infection which is called as sialadenitis, submandibular salivary gland infection which is sialadenitis can also result in Ludwig's angina. Sometimes whenever there is trauma to the oral or facial muscles, that can result in infection leading to Ludwig's angina. So if you see the etiology in Ludwig's angina, most common organism is mixed organisms. There can be aerobes and anaerobes can also cause this Ludwig's angina. It can be caused by beta hemolytic streptococci, or sometimes staphylococci can cause Ludwig's angina, or bacteroids can also cause Ludwig's angina. Rarely, Haemophilus influenza, Escherichia coli and Pseudomonas can result in Ludwig's angina. So if you see the clinical features here, the infection is in the sublingual and submandibular space. So there will be infection which is localized to the structures in the floor of the mouth. So whenever there is infection in the sublingual and submandibular space, the structures in the floor of the mouth are swollen, and sometimes the tongue is pushed up because of the structures which are swollen here. Because the structures here are swollen, the tongue here is pushed up. You can see the pushed up tongue here. So the infection in the when the infection spreads to submaxillary space, submental space or submandibular space, then the infection becomes tender, and this gives a feeling of woody feel. See here, this is the swelling which is seen in the submandibular region, and the tongue here is pushed up. Even the tongue is also swollen here, swollen internal structures, and here the tongue is pushed up. Okay, here the patient presents with fever. He will have sometimes cellulitis, frank abscess can be seen, and this will progress to dangerously laryngeal edema, and this laryngeal edema will cause difficulty in breathing, or it can cause airway obstruction and difficulty in breathing, and thus it can even result in death of the person. So if you see the treatment, first you should give systemic antibiotics. First and foremost, you will have to decrease the infection, and you will have to give systemic antibiotics, and then you can do incision and drainage of the abscess can be done. You can do incision and drainage of abscess, and this incision, how will you give this incision? I'll just show you here, 1 minute. I don't have okay, I'll show you in this picture. Right, you will have to give an incision from one mandible. You should give, actually it's not a vertical incision, you will have to track one angle of mandible. So you will give a transverse incision which is extending from one angle of mandible, then extending to the other. Here this side you will have other angle of mandible, so you give a transverse incision which is extending from one angle of mandible to the other is made, and you will open it and you will drain the abscess. Then see, I have said that the submandibular space consists of two spaces, one sublingual space, second submandibular submylohyoid space, so or submaxillary space, submylohyoid or submaxillary space. So if there is abscess here in the sublingual space, then it is easier for us to enter this space to drain the abscess through the oral cavity. So you will do it intraorally. If the infection is in the sublingual space, then you will have to give incision intraorally if it is localized in sublingual space. But if the infection is localized in the submaxillary space, here if there is infection or if there is abscess, then you should give the incision, extraoral incision should be given. So this is important. If there is laryngeal edema, and if this laryngeal edema can causing airway obstruction, then definitely you should do tracheostomy to facilitate breathing for the patient. Then what are the complications? Sometimes this infection can spread into the other areas, like it can spread into parapharynx resulting in parapharyngeal abscess. It can also spread to retropharyngeal space resulting in retropharyngeal abscess. Sometimes the infection can go through the blood to different places of the body causing septicemia, or sometimes it can even go to the lungs causing aspiration pneumonia. So this is about Ludwig's angina. Thank you for watching my lecture. Thank you.